evening. We have the Whistler Writing Society, the Sea to Sky Community Services, and Squamish Lil'wat Cultural Center. So those are our three organizations that are going to present to us this evening. Our first presenter is going to be Stella. Stella Harvey is the founder and director of the Whistler Writing Society. Excuse me, sorry, I just have to find her amongst, I had her and now she's gone. There she is. All right, Stella, as soon as it unmutes, you can go ahead.
Thanks so much, Ashley, and thanks everybody. Nice to see you all. As Ashley said, I'm Stella Harvey. I'm the founder and director of the Whistler Writing Society, which each year produces several literary programs, the highest profile of which is the Whistler Writers Festival in October of every year. We're going to, this year, 2021 is our 20th anniversary. Who knew? Oh, my gray hair, that's who knows. In any event, many of you know that our Writers Festival has panel discussions, reading events, as well as developmental workshops, so that people don't have to necessarily, go to Vancouver or travel anywhere to attend a developmental workshop and work on their craft. But what I'm presenting today is a specific program within the festival, which is our youth program. So our youth program has three elements to it. One is a writing workshop during the festival. The second one is a reading event open to all youth within the corridor, again, during the festival. And our third element is our Authors in the School program, which began in 2013 with the late author Richard Wagamese. Who was an Indigenous author. The program focuses mostly on, all three programs actually, focus on youth and helping them see themselves within the writers that we bring here. And as well, give them an opportunity to tell their own stories. So when Richard was here in 2013, which was the start of the Authors in the School program, he spoke to many of the kids, as many Indigenous kids are in our community, and what was very interesting to me was that one of the teachers from Mount Currie contacted me after Richard was here. We only had 85 kids in the program at that time because it was a pilot test, and it was only for grade 12 students. But one of the teachers contacted me after the program and said that the three boys who had never finished reading a book, finished Richard's book. And they started an Indigenous book club within their school, which was just so powerful for me. This year, or in 2020, I'll say before that we've expanded the program from those 85 students to include the 19 schools in our district now, from grades 5 to grade 12. And we typically bring 3 to 4 authors to Whistler, and they're represent Indigenous, diversity, diverse cultures, BIPOC, and also the LGBTQ community, so that kids can see themselves in the authors and see the potential as well, and the importance of reading. In 2020, given the pandemic, we weren't able to have the program live here. So we presented it virtually, and we were able to offer it to all the schools in the entire province. And 35 schools took us up on it. We recorded the event And that has since, been used by other schools. But within during the festival time, 35 schools participated in the program. In the past as well, we used to also provide class sets of the books to the kids in our school district, so the 19 schools that who participated. In 2020, we weren't able to do that because, it wasn't at the time, even kids weren't in school prior to the program. And we presented the program virtually. Going forward in 2021, my hope, my dream is that we will present it as a hybrid model, so that what we provide here in Whistler live and in person to the 19 schools can be transported as well and used by other schools in the province. And I think that's about all I have. I hope that gives you a summary of the program.
Yeah, that's great. We'll just give a quick minute. Thank you, Stella, for our members to pop any questions in our chat box. So we'll just give it a second here. Don't have anything so far. Come on. Oh, there we go. We've got one question there. Go ahead, Katie.
All right. How are the authors chosen for this program?
We involve all of the schools in our district and receive feedback from the schools as to who they'd like to see, as well as our libraries in the district. And we do evaluations at the end of the program as well. So whether we're getting survey comments back from festival participants or from the school program, we're also taking that and getting the feedback from the teachers as well, teachers, librarians in the district.
Okay, next question here is, what are your current funding sources and what is your governance structure? Two-parter.
Well, our funding sources are typically, we do get some funding for the youth program, specifically from the Gaming Commission. We have received money from the Community Foundation, for example, the BC Arts Council. So those tend to be where in the past, we've also received money to support the books from the Whistler Blackcomb Foundation as well. So typically, those are the key sources of funding. And in terms of our governance model, our overall governance model, we are a charity as well. And I have a board of directors that I report to. And so there's a board, there's myself as the overall director, and then I have a program manager who helps me as well, festival program manager.
Thank you. I'll just combine two questions here. So how specifically would the donation help this program, and what would it allow you to do?
Well, basically what we would do is, because I'm hoping that our program will be a hybrid model, what I would like to do is be able to fund the purchase of the books. The author's books, because basically when we purchase the author's books, we do that in September. So that goes out to our schools within the district. The teachers study it as part, with the kids as part of their curriculum. and then they come to the authors in the school program, for example, or one of the other two programs during the festival. So they're actually reading the books before they meet the author. So that's how, I envision it being used. The other part of it is having run last year this whole thing virtually, and tearing my hair out. There is a need for a technical support for this kind of thing, and particularly with a hybrid model. And that isn't somebody, during the festival, I typically, and with the school program, I typically make use of a lot of volunteers. But when you're providing a program technically, virtually, and then as a hybrid model, you do need that technical expertise if I'm meant to survive the experience.
Wonderful. And I think this has mostly been answered already, but if you didn't receive the donation tonight, in addition to what you just mentioned about sacrificing the books and potentially a technical director, is there anything else in the program that you would need to sacrifice without additional funding?
Probably would have to double up on the technical kind of expertise, and yes, the books would have to go, because we provide honorariums to the authors, travel, etc., and space. Sometimes there's a space rental as well. So especially if we're going to go with a hybrid model. So, but the program would not be sacrificed, because it's just so important to me and so important to the community.
That's great. Well, drawing on that enthusiasm, do you know how many children participate in the program, and how do you track participation?
We have had as many as 2,000 kids participate in the program. And we've done that, because we attend the program as well. And teachers tell us the counts, and we count as well. And with the virtual program, all the schools reported that attended. So we knew you had to register, and especially with the virtual program, you had to register and then report back as to how many students were involved.
That's wonderful. I think that's all the questions so far. Oh, nope, we just got one question in. What is the annual cost of the program? In short, how much do you have to raise each year to make it happen?
It depends on whether the school, we're able to purchase the books, and also it depends on, but in a good year, when we're able to, purchase the books and, pay everyone, and also we pay for busing if we're bringing kids into Whistler, for example, etc. I would say it's around $15,000. Again, it depends on the number of authors we have. Last year we had 3 authors. Typically we have 4. So there's a bit of room there, but around $15,000.
Okay, awesome. Thank you so much, Stella. Really appreciate it. That was great. Okay, our next presenter here. Sorry, it just takes me a moment to find. There we are. I found you. There you go. All right, take it away as soon as that mute comes off.
Okay, can you hear me?
We can. Can you go a little bit louder? Oh, try again.
That's strange.
Oh, there we go. Yep, I can hear you. Oh.
I do have everything up as high and loud as I can be.
Yep, no, that sounds good, Lynn.
Sorry, I'll try and speak as loudly as I can. First of all, I thank you for what you do for our community and for Whistler. I only recently learned about the women who care movement, and yeah, it's touched me quite a bit. So thank you, and thanks for the opportunity to present tonight. Guess I'd like to start by mentioning that last year, the Sea to Sky corridor welcomed over 600 new babies to our community in this beautiful world we live in. And for so many of these little souls, the pandemic world is all they know. And I can talk to that from my own experience, because I had welcomed my grandson into the world, first grandson, in February. So for these little people, for many of them, they only know their mums and dads to not have masks on. For them, the rest of the world is masked. There are no such things as parent-taught drop-ins, play groups, and other opportunities for learning and social interaction and playing. Interactions with their grandparents, aunts and uncles are only on FaceTime and Zoom if they're not lucky enough to have the ability to connect online. Friends can't cuddle with them. There are no interactions with kind ladies at the soup stores and grocery shops. And for many, their worlds are filled, and homes are filled with the added stresses of the pandemic, including parents who've faced job loss, food and financial insecurity, growing gender-based violence in homes, mental health declines, and for some, even homelessness. My name is Lynn Tyler, and I'm the newly appointed Director of Resource Development for Sea to Sky Community Services, based out of Squamish. And I'm joining you tonight. I'm just kind of learning how to say Bowen Island in the Squamish language, and that's Lil'wat, the unceded territory of the Squamish Musqueam people. Sea to Sky Community Services supports communities throughout the corridor, so all the way from Furry Creek, Britannia Beach, Squamish, Lil'wat, Whistler, Pemberton, Mount Curry, and also provides support to the Sub and Statinium nations, Lil'wat Nation and Squamish Nation. This past fiscal year, our programs helped close to 6,000 individuals of all ages and circumstances build their skills, abilities, confidence, self-worth, and mental health. So we grew by 19% in the communities we've served. Sea to Sky Community Service provides more than 40 programs that are building healthier communities in the pursuit of our vision. And that's really allowing everybody in the Sea to Sky community to grow, to develop, and to lead meaningful lives. We've been doing this for over 41 years now, so 42 years. Our programs include supports for new parents, special education needs, childcare, family counseling, stop the violence programs, food banks, better at home services, affordable housing projects, homelessness outreach, and various legal and advocacy support services. We operate an annual budget of just over $10 million, with about 85% of our funding coming from various levels of government grants and funding. And then about 15% of our annual budget comes from earned revenues and from donations. When we talk about the earned revenues, the key drivers of this revenue are our childcare services, as well as our housing, so rental income from our housing projects. And this year, well, this past year, due to mandated lockdowns and other social distancing measures, we've lost close to $700,000 in expected revenues that our childcare services alone would have provided And these revenues generally provide the funding for some of these, with these footy programs. There are some that are well funded by the government and others that we support, almost completely on our own. And it's so unfortunate that it's those programs that often at this time most needed by our communities that are also the ones that the funding, our own revenue generated funding has dried up for. So although we've, talking about $700,000 loss in predicted income, but our staff, I've only been with the organization for 3 months, but I cannot tell you how impressed I am by the staff, who've sort of pivoted, combined, collaborated programs to keep things running, and cut where they had to, found efficiencies, fundraised. And so with all of that, along with some subsidies that we received, we were able to bring down that revenue gap to about $80,000. And we just keep going. So one of my key roles is to help bridge this funding gap. And today I'm here, and I'm perhaps going on carrying with a similar theme that our previous presenter. Today I'm asking for support of our Spark program. And it's a program that has been affected by this loss of revenue, self-earned revenue. So our Spark program is a program, it's called Supporting Parents on the Road to Kindergarten. And it supports over 500 registered families with children under 5 years old in the Sea to Sky corridor. And it provides, once they enroll in the program, parents and children receive monthly resources, possibilities to connect, parenting workshops, and the big treasure, the home reading books that come to their doors every month. Each and every child in our Spark program receives a delightful, age-appropriate quality book every month to enjoy with their parents. And I brought a couple of them, they're here. So parents and teachers know how important it is to inspire love of reading and learning in children at a very young age. And having appropriate books in the home is a key part of that development. Especially now, when we're not engaging in the world in the same way anymore. And we don't have those opportunities to bond and connect the way we should. And so those opportunities we have with our children or children with their parents to spend that half an hour together reading can't be more important at this time. And just from a literary standpoint, it's a proven fact that children that are read to from birth are likely to excel when they begin school, as 90% of their brain development happens by the age of 5. So as part of the Dolly Parton Imagination Libraries, these books that all of these children receive every month are free to the families. They're not free to Sea to Sky Community Services. We pay approximately $3.55 for each book. And funding from this program, if you do choose to support us in this program, would also include, if it's something that you're interested, an opportunity to have your logo included on the title page of each one of these books, so that every child who gets a book will have the 100 Women Who Care logo and understand your caring mission and keep that with them. But mostly, each of these books and each family enrolled is more than just about literacy and the joy of reading. It's an opportunity and a reason for our counselors and our outreach workers to stay connected with our community. And it's that lifeline that often parents who are dealing with insurmountable vulnerabilities, we just would never know that what they're going through unless we have a program like this that is low stress for them. That this is not a kind of in your face program. It's a gentle touch of engagement, and our counselors and staff have also, become absolute masters of collaboration over the last year, learning how to support each other. So, you hear stories of, our healthy pregnancy program and our early learning and our counselors and our food bank workers all working together to provide resources and connect with families because of the programs that we're able to provide together. So, everything from sort of legal supports, we've helped with families who really, women who really needed to get out of the home, situations with elder abuse. So, it's more than, as I said, more than the book program itself. It is our lifeline to our communities. So again, our staff dream of growing this program. They've realized how important it's become. So at the present time, we have 500 families enrolled. Our hope is to grow that to 600 by the end of our year. And another big piece for us is in partnership with our Southern Stepney Health Society partners. I would really love to kind of get as many of our Indigenous children in, as Mount Curry, Pemberton, Lil'wat, engaged in and enrolled in this program. And that we also are seeking and attempting to source culturally representative books for these children as part of the program. And with your support tonight, during these really, really uncertain times, the funding that I understand may be available will provide almost half the funding we need to support or to keep this program running for the rest of the year. And, on the one hand, we're working really hard to close our revenue gap, but at the same time, we're forging ahead, just rebuilding our communities and trying to build that social and emotional fabric we all need to stay healthy and happy during these pandemic times. So that's my presentation, and I just want to thank you for considering supporting our work. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Lynn. That was great. I think we have a couple questions here. Katie, go ahead whenever you're ready.
Yes, of course. So a couple of overlapping questions here. How many staff are there, and what is your relationship with Whistler Community Social Services?
Gosh, how many staff in total? I believe we have 68 staff in total. Much like with the Writers Festival, our staffing is changing. We're pivoting all the time. This program itself has one individual in charge, a manager in charge, and then many of the outreach workers are, aligned with several programs, so they support several programs. Did I answer both the question? I can't remember. There was a second piece to that now.
No, I think. Well, what is your relationship with Whistler Community Social Services? But
I have not been here long enough to know exactly. I know we partner, but I'll have to learn exactly how we do.
That's okay. We'll give you time to settle in. This question is actually my own. Childhood literacy is so near and dear to my heart and my family. It's so important to us. But I've never actually heard of the Spark program. So how did you share information on this program prior to COVID with the Sea to Sky community? And how will you share information on it moving forward with the families that are feeling isolated and without those in-person touch points?
Sure. So again, before COVID, we have these integrated services, so including our childcare programs, our healthy pregnancy programs, our drop-ins. Gosh, there's Smart Start. There are a whole bunch of them that work to kind of promote and connect each other. Of course, we have our website. But those are the primary ways that we would have really built the program. But it really is our counselors seeking opportunities to engage and connect that work together and you know, refer families to one another. That's really what we're doing, and how we're having to rely on you know, providing the services during the pandemic. For a lot of our most vulnerable communities, they have been on complete lockdown. So a lot of you know, our support work has been you know, done virtually, but one of the things, you know, as we all know, the mail service is actually become a good thing, and so, you know, putting these books in the mail is you know, and that's actually part of the destination library provides that service for us, so we know that they're getting to the communities and to the families.
Wonderful. Okay, another question here. How do you find people in need of your services, and do families have to register with you, or do you have other ways of reaching out to your organization?
Yeah, again, we have just over 40 different programs that normally community members, parents can register for. There are also referral programs and referral opportunities between our partner organizations, schools, you know, mental health organizations. So there are formal referral programs, but a lot of it is sort of gentle word of mouth and encouragement. You know, you'll hear about, you know, when you talk to our program workers about how much they miss the cooking classes for moms. And I'm, well, what do you mean you do cooking classes for moms? And well, we would do that because that's what they want to do. And so, yeah, it's that sort of the way it sort of grows and introduced, you know, people tend to introduce their friends, and so. And then we also send out kind of welcome packages and that sort of thing to new families moving into the community and when babies are born here.
Great. And then the next question was just reconfirming the website, seatoskykids.ca /resources/spark. Is that the correct way to find information on this program?
Sea to Sky Community Services, so SSCS would be a better way, and then actually looking at the, sorry, I'm just.
That's okay. I think Ashley will probably share the information on it.
So you'll see it as one of our programs when you go to, you know, Sea to Sky Community Services.org, go to that website, and then you'll have a look at the programs available.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Lynn.
Thank you.
All right. I will get that link just as soon as I get the next presenter up here. Heather, where are you? There you are. Thank you. That wave was helpful. Okay, go ahead. Beautiful Heather.
Hi, everyone. I just want to acknowledge that I'm here in my hot water tank, but also greatly acknowledge that I work and play on the unceded territory of the Squamish Nation and the Lil'wat Nation, who I have the honor of representing here today. I'm from the Squamish Lil'wat Cultural Center. I started there in March of this year, and I'm here to speak on behalf of Allison Pascal, our curator, and many of the cultural ambassadors in the center. On reserve, there is not very stable internet activity, so doing a Zoom at night can be not reliable. But they all send their best wishes to everyone here. And thank you so much for putting together this wonderful organization, Ashley, for contacting me, and for all the people who supported us being here today. Who the Squamish Lil'wat Cultural Center is, we're on the corner of Blackcomb Way and Lorimer Road. We're a center for sharing meaningful experiences, educating all, and lifting the distinct Squamish and Lil'wat ways. We are a center for truth and reconciliation in Whistler. We provide meaningful employment to Indigenous people from Capilano, who drive 2 to 4 hours a day to get up here 4 days a week, all the way up past Mount Curry in Lil'wat Nation and new sites. Our staff are 95% Indigenous, and 1/3 of our senior leadership team is Indigenous. That's a change of 100, that is a change from 0 from a year ago. We're very proud to say that. And we've been able to do that during COVID. We normally have 90,000 visitors a year. These visitors are international. We do not have a connection to visitors in BC that's compared to what we have internationally. We have a couple of things we want to accomplish, but one of the things I'm talking to you today about is saving a job, because when you save a job in the Squamish Nation and Lil'wat Nation, you save a life. I can be brought to tears a little bit because I didn't know that my job would have to deal with 2 suicide attempts in the first 4 months. I didn't know that I would have to be navigating healthcare systems with Indigenous people who are afraid of traditional healthcare systems and services. I'm talking to you from an organization that is 100% Indigenous owned and run. I report to a board from both nations, equally operated. One of the things I noticed coming in was there was definitely more connection needed between the Whistler town and with the SLCC, the Squamish and Lil'wat Nation, and these wonderful cultural ambassadors that I get to work with every day. They're not employees, they're advocates for the land and the ancestors that are buried here, and for their homes and their elders and the community that they live in. They don't see coming to ask for money as a way to save us, to save them, to save their families, to save their children. We often advocate for that. And I want you to know they are strong individuals living many times purposefully amongst their elders in small homes so that they gather and can be together. What I would love to do is to connect the Whistler community and that community to land and the recreation we have with what is so important, and which is mental health for our ambassadors, which is their community, their connection to culture and to art. Because for them, culture is mental health. Our mental health breaks include drum making. Culture is politics. And I'd love to see it happen with an exhibit called Border X. It's an unprecedented exhibit taking snow sports, wave sports, and skate sports, snow sport, skateboarding, and surfing, and taking Indigenous artists to create those pieces, write about those pieces, and then put that on the wall. There's a cedar surfboard created. Maison Machon, who's an Indigenous artist that lives in Whistler, does photography, really celebrate Indigenous artists who are successful right now and creating that connection to the land through the art that they know. Border X would bring in a connection from the children of Whistler and the people who are children at heart. I don't know if you're married to one, but I am. The children of Whistler with Indigenous art and Indigenous connection to the sports that we have. I've often heard from Chief Gallup Cal, you know, recreation is not in our culture, so it's hard to connect with Whistler. And this is an opportunity for that to happen. And then for the children to see just how accessible and important sports like skateboarding is to an Indigenous community. It is something that they can walk out the door and they can go ride with. I I want to point out that, you know, a lot of the times the Squamish Lil'wat Cultural Center is known for ancient histories, and we are, and proudly share ancient histories, but we're also about the youthful voices that are there. This is Squisquick. This is Jay. He's a contemporary hip art artist, and he's your tour guide when you come to the SLCC. This is Qualum. This is Redmond. He is a skateboarder and can't wait for this exhibit so that he can teach kids skateboarding in his community and connect with Whistler children through this Indigenous art and sport. And this is Shudakum. Shudakum is our regalia designer, and her dream is also to become a bike park designer. And it's creating those stronger connections to recreation within Whistler for the Squamish and Lil'wat communities and their youth, and making those stories go back to their parents and their elders, that I think is part of a very positive bridge of truth and reconciliation within our community. I'm not sure what else I can share. I know that basically this exhibit is a touch point for viewers to gain a deeper understanding for our modern relations with land, and relating with land during COVID is one of the most important things that people are doing. And we need to remind ourselves the original peoples of this land. So drawing from the traditional teachings and cultural knowledge to then show the joy in the sport culture. And I don't want to take up too much of your time. That's what we have. So I mean, whoosh it. Thank you so much. Kukun Kalap, whoosh, okay.
Thank you, Heather. That was great. Again, we'll just give one quick minute here, let people get their keyboard fingers in line, and then go ahead, Katie, whenever you're ready.
Sure thing. How much in total do you think you'll need for the exhibit? Where will the money go? To the artists or to resources?
Thank you. Good question. So in total, we're seeking $30,000. We've been able to find $6,000 so far. And at this point, this money would actually make me say we're going ahead with it. We're currently paying for its storage because of COVID in Vancouver, because we firmly believe, job on the line, that this exhibit needs to be in Whistler and needs to have those local artists celebrated, Indigenous artists celebrated. How much of it will go to resources and how much it will go to artists? It's about 60-40. A lot of it goes to the artists, and then there's the resourcing of shipping it and packing it and putting it up, etc. But when I say artists too, I also mean that it means we'll have another cultural ambassador on our staff, which I can't wait to write that recall letter for when we exhibit it, because they'll also be able to speak about it. And we anticipate to be much busier with the community and all over, and a youth demographic that we can't wait to see through these doors that we haven't yet.
Absolutely. And it's so important to support the artists. Our next question was, what is the timeline that you envisioned for this program or this exhibit?
Good question. April.
Ambitious.
I know.
Right.
April, because it's a great time to actually merge an exhibit on the snow. So we could actually have a snow exhibit, and also time for the melt to come and bring in the skateboard culture and the surf culture, because I know all of us are dreaming to get to Tofino at some point.
That's a wonderful transitional exhibit. Next question is that you said you normally have 90,000 guests through the SLCC per year. How many have you had during COVID? You may have touched on this, but we missed it, or the question asker did.
We've had about, since March, 1,000.
Okay. Okay. Do you want to maybe elaborate? Have you had a lot of online interaction with any of your online programming or anything that might have made up for some of the shortfall? Or
yes, we've moved into virtual tours for schools, which have been really exciting. We also created a virtual tour recording so that we can do it in multiple language, include translating it into Squamish or Lil'wat traditional languages. We also have, you know, the 90,000 is also, we were a very healthy organization that could have events, make profit, and feed that back into the cultural revitalization of our organization. Bonnie Henry that we are understandably not having events right now. So that is the key demographic that we're losing. We can't have great gatherings in the building.
Absolutely. This is a question from me. I'm sorry. How do you envision a visitor, including locals or visitors to the resort, experiencing this particular exhibit in the SLCC? Is it interactive? Is it static? How do you see it rolling out when you walk in the building?
When you walk in the building, it's up in Gallery 3. So people can choose to go through the rest of it. And we hope they do, because that connection to the history of the land is important, especially when it comes to the skate and snow culture. That demographic that doesn't visit us as much. We feel also that when you come up, there'll be interaction when it comes to, we're looking at building a skateboard ramp. We're looking at having, we've planned to have skateboard building workshops for the kids, and bring in Indigenous and local use there. We want to make this a connection to Whistler so that we can see friendships happen between both nations and Whistler community.
Wonderful. Next question is, will the exhibit be hosted strictly inside the museum, or is there a component of public outreach to connect with the youth?
Yes. So as I said, we're looking at having some on-hill experiences, as long as Whistler Blackcomb's okay with it. And, you know, they will be. May's here. She'll make sure it happens. And looking at actually bringing it over to the skate park and connecting there. And so that with the art that's on here and the artists that are speaking towards it, they're talking about the history of the raven, the knowledge of the orca, and how the movement connects them to their movement inside of them, and the motherboard they connect to the land. Because that's the most important thing for them, is to teach everyone that how do we connect and appreciate the land, and how does this change our lives and make it more positive.
Fantastic. Next question is that Whistler has a fairly large skateboarding community already. Will you involve them in any way in this exhibit?
Beg, borrow, and involve them as much as we can. That's exactly what we want, is the young kids and that youth that come in and realize that they're rolling on the unceded territory of the Squamish and Lil'wat people.
Wonderful. And the last question so far is, how long will the exhibit be on display? You're thinking April start. When are you thinking to finish?
We're looking at finishing at the end of the summer and rolling into an ancient medicines exhibit after that.
Great. Another question is, how would you sustain this exhibit year over year? Will there be new exhibits every year?
There are new exhibits every year. And thank you for asking that. We will be able to sustain it when business comes back and tourism comes back and we have a rebound, independently and through support and sponsors of government resources. We do get government resource funding, but it's very definitely focused on emergency funding for your insurance. Our insurance is $150,000 a year, and traditional Indigenous research. This contemporary youth-led moment is a difficult ask, and that's why we go to the community and ask for it.
Great. Any other questions? Last call?
I think that's it. Awesome. Thank you so much, Heather. That was amazing. All right. Thank you, Katie, for being our question extraordinaire. Quite good at that job. Might have to continue with that. Okay, so thank you everybody for presenting. We're running a little long here, so I'm just going to quickly try to figure out this break room thing. Here we go. Sorry, just give me 1 second. Okay, so I'm going to send them into their breakout rooms. Not started. There we go. Okay, that works. Let's see. I don't see them in here. I think we're good. Can we see them? No, Heather's gone. Your beautiful white glasses are easy to see. Okay, so we have our 3 organizations. The Whistler Writing Society, looking for funding for their literary youth program at the Whistler Writers Festival, essentially wanting to purchase books and have technical support for running their 2021 event online again. Then we have Sea to Sky Community Services looking for funding for their Spark program, which is a Sea to Sky program that is for children 5 and under. A main part of that program with them receiving books. And currently they have 500 families looking to increase to 600. The last one was the Squamish Lil'wat Cultural Center, and their program is titled Border X. And I mean, we just heard it, but it's the art-centered, bringing that sort of connection between Whistler and the Indigenous youth in our community. So I will pop up the poll. There we go. So I'll give everyone a few minutes to do that. Kat, if you're listening to me, Kat and Wendy, you two are together. You can only make one vote. So Kat, just text me your vote and I will add it in. Okay. Oh, Katie and Courtney, I'm going to make you co-host. There you go. If you're not able to do it, just send me a text. Okay, we still have about 10 people to go. This is a tough one. Okay. Still have a few more people. I'll give you one more minute to push that through. Is anyone having problems with it? Wave at me if you're not able to get your vote through. Oh, Linda, you're not able to? Oh, Jen, you can't do it either?
No.
I can't see where the poll is.
Oh, it should have popped up on your screen. If you go down to your chat box and you select, instead of everyone, select my name, Ashley Gervan, or 100 Women should be in there as well. Find that one. Either one of those, and you private message me your vote and I will add that in.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, my submit button doesn't work.
Well, that's no fair.
Yeah. So I have the poll, but it's just the submit button doesn't work.
Okay.
Mine didn't work either.
Mine didn't either, but if you click up and down, like click on a different one and then try it again and then try it, it will turn blue.
That's scary.
Oh, okay.
Now mine's gone though. I guess I should just submit to you, should I, Ashley?
Yeah, just send it to me.
Okay, it worked.
Oh, you got that? Okay.
Yep.
There's one.
Thanks.
Okay. And then Linda, you're going to send that to me?
I did.
Okay. It's probably on this one here. Yeah. Okay, there we go. All right.
Wait a minute.
Are we waiting for one more still?
I don't know. Did you get mine?
I did, yeah.
Okay.
I just think that there's one more person that was struggling with it that I haven't gotten. But I'm going to go ahead here because that one mark is not going to change our poll. Okay, so we have ourselves a winner. close that up, and I'm going to bring them back. Close all rooms. Okay. We'll just take them 1 minute to pop back in. We'll wait for them to come back. And then everyone can do your drum roll. Okay. Can they come back in? Where's Heather? I'm always just looking for the white glasses. That's helpful. Oh, there you are. Sorry. Okay, I think we have everybody back in now. So for tonight, our donation is going to be for $11,300. Drum roll. The Squamish Lil'wat Cultural Center is our winner this evening. Congratulations. Thank you to everyone who presented. Congratulations to Heather. I'll add you up here. Presentation, Heather. Thank you so much.
Sorry, I need a minute. Thanks, everyone. It really means a lot.
Oh, so much, Heather.
I love you. I can't wait to be here at the next meeting, drinking a glass of wine and voting.
And then we can cheers. Awesome.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much to everybody. If you want to take a quick minute, grab your beverage. Oh yes, Katie, good one. That was a good one. Grab your beverage, and I'm going to grab my phone, and I want to see if we can get another group photo.